Hello everybody, this is a nice case. Sudanese patient, 41 years old. He was referred because of pre-excitation in his ECG and runs of narrow complex tachycardia in his Holter. Localization of his pre-excited ECG. Okay, this is the 12-lead ECG of his pre-excitation. Actually 2, 3 and AVF are positive, and the QS pattern in V1 here and transition in V3, which says that this is anteroseptal. QS pattern in V1 says that this is pure septal. It is not right anterior, it is pure septal. In his resting ECG, there was QR in lead 3, so I was suspecting mid-septal. You can see this is a premature atrial beat, which showed more pre-excitation on this patient. We'll show you the study, Yalla Ahmed. Ahmed Tawfiq will show us the study. Okay, first, Ahmed, what we see here?
As we see here, we have pre-excitation, and we inserted the catheters, the CS decapolar catheter and the RV quadripolar catheter. And we can see pre-excitation manifest on the surface ECG.
You can see that the ventricular activation of the left ventricle is far away, okay? And that the HIS catheter or the RV catheter is very early to the delta.
Doing V pacing.
What we do each time is that we start V pacing to see retrograde conduction, and I think there was like simultaneous pacing or retrograde, we can see.
Actually, we did the extra stimulus and we had here the decremental conduction via the
pathway, but there was decremental conduction.
Yes.
The retrograde is through the AV node, not the accessory pathway, maybe. Yeah.
This was the decremental conduction with the extra stimulus.
With the extra stimulus, here is VA time decremental, and this is a repetitive ventricular response.
Yes.
You can see. Okay.
And then we started.
So the retrograde did not help you.
Yes.
But actually, we were looking for any tachycardia as we saw in the Holter.
We started doing atrial burst pacing, and it showed more pre-excitation.
So the atrial pacing is for risk stratification, right? Okay.
Yes.
You can see here he was doing atrial pacing, and it was all pre-excited, although we have some interference. Today we had some interference in this
it was all pre-excited.
It was all pre-excited.
Then we started
atrial extra stimulation.
We did atrial extra stimulation.
Yeah.
And it conducted till 500 over 220.
220.
Yes.
The extra stimulus. So this is a high risk.
Yes. So it's a high risk.
And the one was
pathway.
250 or 60.
The one was 240.
Okay. Show us something without the interference, if possible.
Okay.
Then we decided that he deserved ablation because we want and the high risk of the accessory pathway.
We did map.
Mapping started in the anteroseptal region, right? We introduced the ablation catheter, a regular one, not an irrigated tip, because we are going to ablate in the anteroseptal region. So we started mapping in the anteroseptal region because the ECG from these connections is anteroseptal. We started and we saw that our V electrogram is far before the right ventricle. Of course, it was inside. And we were about before the delta. Actually, the delta starts here.
The V to delta was 70 milliseconds.
Okay, and then we were looking also at the proximal and the distal poles. This is the V. Measure the V to delta.
Here's the V.
20 minus 20 millisecond. Okay. When we go into the anteroseptal region, we have to be careful. Also, if you hit it, because sometimes it is very subendocardial, so you can hit it with the catheter. When you hit it with the catheter, you stay there and you ablate. And this can give you the site. We did ablation, and we saw A and V, no hiss, and fully normalized. And here, back to the pre-excitation with the A and V here. There was a far field hiss at this site. We can see pre-excited, normal, and very far field hiss is not a big deal. Okay. Then we continued ablation, no hiss, with normalization. Actually, in this, because he's a big man, he's black, we used 50 watt. Alfie, you have to show us on the floor what you did. Alfie is the one who ablated it.
That was a very nice case of anteroseptal pre-excited accessory pathway in a 41 years old male who had frequent attacks of supraventricular tachycardia. The most important thing to state in the beginning is teamwork. Electrophysiology and ablation, you cannot perform it by your own. You have to be in a team. Prof. Mervat Aboulmaaty team is one of the biggest teams in the Middle East and Africa, and I'm very glad to be part of this team. I am going now to show you the successful ablation sites on fluoroscopy of this anteroseptal accessory pathway. That was the first image in the REO view. As you can see, the quadripolar catheter having the His signal, and this was the ablation catheter. It was a little bit posterior to the quadripolar catheter, and the accessory pathway, the pre-excitation didn't go away at that area. Next picture. At this area you can see that we were a little bit anterior above the His, and the accessory pathway disappeared. We were ablating at 50 watts, but there was recurrence after stopping the ablation. The accessory pathway recurs. Next, please. This also, the accessory pathway recurs. And that one was a successful ablation site. Actually, we got bigger His, and the accessory pathway was gone in the first few seconds, and it didn't recur. We are now waiting like 28 minutes and it didn't recur, and that was perfect V2 delta. It was like 31 milliseconds before the delta, and it had a sharp His but small one, and it was a successful ablation of this dangerous accessory pathway. Again, we thank the team, Mr. Taha and Mr. Mustafa, Dr. John Moros, me, Dr. Salah Al-Ahwani, Dr. Hind, Dr. Tawfiq, Prof. Mervat, and big thank to Mr. Ali. And till we meet again in the next cases, thank you very much.